Hey everybody, Texas Stroker here, Lance's Performance Shop, LoneStarMopars.com. It's Sunday night, I am freezing. I have some business to take care of, if you know what I mean. I'm going to try to crank this out because I want to get this stuff to work. So, we just wrapped up the Zoro tool haul. We brought in this ridiculously cheap proto half-inch drive socket set. I think I'll take it with me for the time being. It might wind up back here, not sure, kind of covered that in the last video, but something I decided to do and make standalone revolved around this. So this is a quintessential American classic. This is the Channellock 909. I absolutely love these things. If you're unfamiliar with them, I highly recommend them. The prices have gone up a little bit with everything these last couple of years, but used to you could pick these up for like $19.99. They're amazing. Again, basically what you've got the ability to cut wire, and you've got the ability to crimp insulated and non-insulated connectors. It's kind of an all-in-one tool. I picked these up for the house several years ago, and it's just one of those things. You kind of can't go wrong with them. There's fancier tools, there's cheaper tools, there's more expensive tools, but this, for what it does and the track record it has, it's just kind of hard to go wrong with. So, why are they here? What's the point? I thought this is something I needed to take to work. Well, it is. This is something that I keep here at the house, and I want to keep here at the house because I use it all the time. Recently, I ran into a situation at work where I was trying to do something typically we don't do. And it was messing around with some capacitors on single phase motors, and there was a just junk-tacular, I don't know who did this thing, but it was like a pathetic crimp. It was so bad it would have failed a pull test. Clearly the people didn't pull test it, it wouldn't have shipped out that way, right? So needed to fix it. And we have, you know, a lot of strippers, a lot of crimpers, and a bunch of them are just like the old school, made in the USA, handle style ones, small. Tons of people have them. I'm not sure who the OEM is, but they just are kind of worn out. And you go and grab another pair, and they're also pretty shot, right? And this was a deal where I just went ahead, and the next day I brought these with me. And as I've been trying to do, if there's stuff that I bring to work, I just try to grab it to have it work, so I don't have to constantly carry it back and forth. And this is really something I probably should have had there with me already, but I didn't have the cart set up. I hadn't like fully committed to that. I was just kind of hauling around, you know, like stuff for the pallets and everything, take motors off. And I finally decided, I was like, you know what? I should have that here. So that's what we did with the Channellock 909. You think, man, we don't really even need to see it. You got it right here. Well, here's why you need to see it. This thing, even with the discount, kind of spendy at $27.67. You're thinking like, whoa, hey, that is, inflation's crazy, man. Well, check that out. This is Channellock's Code Blue. Exact same tool, it's the 909, but that CB at the end indicates Code Blue. A lot of people still have the misconception that when you hear Code Blue, it's made overseas. I can't explain the branding, I can't explain the decision making, but I can assure you these are made in America. So in this case, the Code Blue is referring to a comfort grip 2-component handle, if you will. So as you can see, they're telling you fiercely made in Meadville. Is it Meadville or Medville? I never seem to get that right. 909 CB, that comes out to 9.38 inches or 238.25 millimeters. These are really good. Sadly, Zoro has that back panel covered up. These should open fairly easily. We'll probably get cut since I just said that, but boom, we're gonna make it happen, Captain. So once again, what are you looking at? You're looking at almost an identical tool. Note the dipped handle actually does come up higher. That's interesting. You'd think they might have had a dip and then this comes over it, or some sort of a process to cover, but yeah, that is a difference. Now look at the side profile though. These are actually surprisingly comfortable. The thing is, when you crimp, that's when you're, you know, really coming in, popping the knuckles like we just did, right? And that's where a 2-component handle is desirable, when you're putting down force. This is significantly more comfortable than this, right? This is kind of digging into me where you see the indentations of the tool. You want a good crimp, you don't want a bad crimp. That's why you want to come in and apply pressure, generate leverage. These will break in, smooth out over time. I'm not a huge stickler on that thing. I just want them to be functional and intact. But right there again, you've got your cutting profile, you've got your crimps for insulated and non-insulated, I should say. And it's sort of hard to see, but if I bring that down, it's a little oily. You've got insulated, non-insulated, and then right there you've got Channellock, made in the USA. It's got the 909 CB, copper and aluminum, 10 to 22 American wire gauge only. So the cutter, again, like if you think of automotive stuff like 14, 16, 18, even like a 12 gauge ground or something, it's going to do great there. Like on some huge fat motor lead, you might want to have a standalone cutter for it. But aside from not stripping, these are pretty dadgum good. And again, if you get good with these, you can just kind of work your way around the wire and then pull it off. Again, it's amazing what happens when you do something over and over again. But in terms of just universal crimping, these are really, really hard to beat. So main thing I did different here, I love this color, I love the feel of this. Again, when you do have to apply leverage, it's more desirable in my opinion to have a fatter, wider profile. So what I did, kind of differentiate them. Code blue, we'll try that out, see how we like it. And again, at work, I'm typically dealing with larger wire gauges. These do small stuff, 16 and under, the vast majority of the time. These will do larger. So it kind of made sense, at least in my little head, to do things that way. Now, Code Blue experience here, these are the 318 CBs. I absolutely love them. They've been great to me. Again, I could get into the whole color aesthetic thing here, but I'm kind of in a hurry. But over time, the grips, obviously, they discolor a little bit. I could clean these up, I'm sure. You can kind of see how broken those are. They just make a really, really nice handle. So hopefully we get the same feel and vibe out of these 909 CBs. Now, the follow-up item here, this is something I did not know, literally did not know Channellock made. And all the times I've been in, you know, like our industrial supply houses, Fastenal back in the day, Home Depot, Lowe's, wherever, mom and pop hardware stores, Ace, they still carry Channellock, right? All of the Channellock displays I've ever seen, needle nose, tongue and groove, you name it, all that stuff, I had never seen this item. No clue that they even made it. This is something I intended to do. I had something picked out at KC Tool, but it was pretty expensive. And this is really, it's not like a critical thing for me. It's kind of just stuff comes in. I have to use this tool to cut something, right? Let me just pull it up, and I will say that this direct ship, this came from somewhere Zoro has. This tool that I didn't know they made came literally direct from Channellock. And I have to say, whoever at Channellock made the decision to ship in the envelopes that you tear open and they shoot out packing, shame on you. That is one of the most annoying things in the world. I don't care if it's, you know, a bubble mailer would be fine in my opinion. Oh, I hate those. When you see this tool, I want you to know that I probably have like 3 to 5 minutes in dusting it, okay? That crud goes everywhere. I absolutely hate any place that ships in those, so that sucked, but I'm going to give you a little teaser here. You're like, oh, needle nose. And then someone's like, no, that's kind of blurry. Okay, can you make that not blurry? Well, it looks more like a big cutter. Like a really big cutter. Well, let me spin it around for you. Okay. Thinking, where's, oh, okay. Yeah, this must be like a giant, oh, yeah, okay, yeah, he picked up like a giant cable cutter thing. Well, that's pretty close, but what we actually have here, I guess, would be the 612 TS. And you're like, 612, what the heck is that? You know Channellock part numbers, and you're like, I can't place that. Well, what if I told you when things come in, now you kind of get a lot of poly, but back in the day, and what I still personally use, is steel. And it's usually involved with crates, pallets, and boxes. Particularly, boxes on pallets, right? And some of you are like, wait, I think I know where this is going. Boom. Check it out. I had no clue that Channellock made tin snips my whole life. All the, which Channellock, I mean, they're everywhere. You know, here in America, like mom and pop hardware, all the way up to the conglomerate corporate places, everywhere has them. They've got displays of them. Never once can I recall ever seeing tin snips, and this is something that would sell. I don't understand why it's not on display. People need tin snips. This is the thing. If you've got steel strapping, banding material, even on the poly strap sometimes, it's kind of annoying to use a knife or your scissors don't do it. Tin snips will. Tin snips are amazing. These aren't fancy. They're not exotic. You're not probably going to want to use them to like cut intricate shapes and details. But for snipping banding material, my lord, these should be nice. I do not know who made the ones at work. I know they're made in the USA. I know we have several sets and iterations from over the years. Some have blue painted handles, some have green. And I say painted, they are painted. There is nothing of comfort. There's not this thick dip. There's not a thin dip. There's not a comfort handle. There's not two component. There's paint. And I made the mistake one time of cutting a 5x8 sheet of thin gauge metal to have like a shelf liner, you know, for each compartment. I don't remember the specs, probably like 18 by 24 or something, over and over and over again. Let me tell you, don't do that. Your hands, you will have blisters and calluses. I don't care what you do for work, unless you cut sheet metal with uncomfortable tin snips all the time. You're going to get calluses and blisters that you have never had before doing that. That made me literally, you'll recall from a KC tool when I bought some here for the house, I got good standalone ones. I've got Stanley Fat Maxes that I actually really do like. I think they might even be Chinese made, but they've been really good, oddly enough. And they're straight, but these American made, they're fat scissor style handles. They're fairly comfortable. I can get 3 fingers in here, as you can see. I kind of wish the handle was a little bit larger. You know, you can always kind of grip in here if that's an issue, but again, Channellock 612 TS 12-inch tinner snip. They call them tinner snips. I'm going to always call these tin snips. It'll cut through 20 gauge, and as you can see, if you're unfamiliar, you got right and left with tin snips. That's why you have different colored handles. These will go straight, they will go left, they will go right. But for me, I'm not going to make this anything it's not. I'm going to tell you like 90 to 95% of every cut I will ever make with these, especially if they stay at work, is through banding material. Sometimes, like what I run is 3/4, but sometimes like people are sending 5/8 a lot. So whatever, it's going to be little steel banding material, and I'm going to use these every time, and it's going to be slightly more comfortable than the ones at work. Plus the ones at work, we kind of abuse them, and they've sort of been getting, you know, you kind of get it down here more and more every time, and it's like, I'm noticing that I think they're hitting the end of their useful life, which, geez, for as many years as they've been doing it, can't complain. But this will be something in personal cart, and that way, again, it's going to be typically located back to where, you know, shipping and receiving is, so it should be easier for me to get to. If you think, man, what's all that stuff on that blade? And like it's like gunked up. This is literally the crud from that envelope. Probably under this tag. Let me just tear it off. Yeah, I don't know that you're going to see it really well, but see right there where it looks like adhesive stuff? That's not anything adhesive. That is just dust and lint type crud from that stupidly hideous envelope. I hate those things more than anything. Kind of a buzzkill that's already like wearing off. We haven't really done anything with it, but I'm excited to use these. I know it's not the sexiest, most exotic tool you could ever bring in, but it's something that if you use, you will appreciate. And like I said, I'll have my own standalone pair that I can sort of have strategically located with the cart. And it'll come in handy. So I broke some stuff down Saturday when I had to work, and I was thinking, man, I wish I'd have made that video and would have had these here. But yeah, they'll probably be used tomorrow, so it's going to be fine. Price point on those came out with a discount to sub $20, which for a 12-inch tin snip, this has some heft to her, I'll tell you right now. That's a phenomenal price. So Wanted to make a standalone for Channellock. Again, the 909, truly an American classic in my opinion. Got the CBs here, we'll see how we like those. And then the tin snips, which, be honest with me, don't try to be Joe Cool that you knew about this. Did you know Channellock made tin snips? And again, I'm assuming they actually do make them. I don't think this is like rebranded from anything because they've got the Channellock on there. I don't know. If you know, maybe this is like rebrand, you know, but still made in America. Maybe this is something they do. I legitimately, in all my life, in all the walls and displays I've walked by of Channellock, had never seen this to even know they offered it. that's kind of crazy, but I'm excited to try them out. Ultimately, if they suck, I'll let you know real fast. If they're good, you probably won't hear from me until someone asks, but just kind of assume, hey, they must not be terrible or he'd be complaining. And, yeah, we'll take it from there. So 909 CBs and the 612 TS 12-inch tin snips are on their way to work. But with that said, I gotta get inside, man. It's super late. I gotta be to work super early again, unfortunately or fortunately, however you want to view that. But, the proto sockets from the last haul, they're coming with me, and then these two pairs of Channellock will be going. So 909 CB, 909 in general, what are your thoughts? Same thing on the tin snips. If you knew or didn't know or have them or don't have them, what are you using? What brand are they? Are they cheap imports? Are they US made? Are they stuff that's just sat around at work and you don't even know the brand like me? Is it something that you use all the time? Again, tin snips, some people, it might be a freak deal. You know, maybe you get an appliance or you bought like heavy garage cabinets for the New Year's to organize stuff. Here at the house, you know, one thing that happened to me, I got some pallet rack. That stuff is awesome. But a lot of things that could slow people down, like if you just get pallet rack, you're probably not thinking like, oh, I'll need tin snips. And again, it's one of those things like your scissors ain't gonna cut it, quite literally. So this is one of those deals. Tin snips are just really, really nice to have. Again, especially anyone in shipping and receiving, you already know. I'm excited to try them out, so let me know your thoughts, particularly if you've used these, but if not, what are you using? Again, if you're like, oh, that's Wiss, or, you know, so-and-so makes those, feel free to tell people. Again, I don't know, but I do know Channellock is on them. That's not quite what you typically see from Channellock. Not like the same font or anything, but I don't know, it could just be how these are set up, or it could be rebranded from another manufacturer, not sure, but they are 100% made in America. So with that said, let me know your thoughts on all this stuff. LoneStarMopars.com is the website. You can find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all three at Lone Star Mopars. My apologies, I was trying to read the tag and see if I could find any telltale signs, but no dice. With that said, if you have not subscribed and you like what you see here, I encourage you to do so. If you subscribe, ring the bell, jump your charger across the creek, dual wield your Channellock 612 TS tin snips and your 909 CBs while simultaneously cutting a very large gauge cable and crimping wire under the dash so you can sound the Dixie horn when you land. YouTube just might notify you that we got new videos every Wednesday and Saturday, 9 a.m. Texas time. With that said, for the battery light people, I will have you know this entire video has been recorded with the red flashing light. Second time I've done that recently. Phenomenal. Is that skill related? Absolutely not, but I know some of you keep tabs on the batteries, and no, I have still not purchased a new battery for this camera. So yes, the longer I go without shelling out $60 to $80 for a battery, the more things I can do like this. So with that said, before this really does cut me off, thanks again for watching. Most importantly, I hope I catch you back here for more action from the shop.